there is some sort of hybrid cricket cicada monster that's been harassing me the last 4 days down here.
Oh, God.
It's got such a loud, high-pitched noise, and it might start going at any moment, and I haven't been able to even find out where it is. So if at some point...
We'll call it out.
Yeah. If my head explodes, you'll know why.
Cicada monster.
Adventure Guys. Adventure Guys. Now it's time for Adventure Guys.
All right. Welcome to Adventure Guys, the podcast for humans and dogs. I'm Eric the Human.
I am Nick the Human. And today we are joined by yet a third human. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Sean the Human.
That's for everyone wondering. Yes, they do have the same last name, both Sean and Nick the Human.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, this is my good little brother Sean Harvey
What's up?
joining the mix.
Yeah.
A little bit about Sean. He's 2 years younger than me. He's been alive that much shorter, which means I know so much more than he does, as we're all going to find out.
Yeah, very true.
Esteemed percussionist and drummer for the Kraken Quartet.
Yes, that's right. Austin, Texas's own weirdo percussion electronics band.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really a great band. Go check out Separate Migrate,
Thanks, dude.
Backdrop. And I was kidding, man.
Oh,
You
thanks,
know,
brother.
You know just as much as I do, if not
Sure.
more.
Maybe. Don't give me too much credit.
I'm just busting your chops on the air.
Chop busting.
So yeah, Nick, you're back in Texas now, all settled in with Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm here. And we got here. We dropped off the bags. We sat down and we said we need some poke.
Oh man, I planned out my introduction of myself. I need to redo it again.
Okay.
Adventure Guys.
Hey. So actually, this is Sean Harvey, my brother. Sean, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. I'm Sean the Human, and I just ate poke.
Oh, poke. Oh, yeah. Poke.
Yeah. I had poke for lunch today.
Really?
Oh.
Where'd you get it from?
Whoa.
It magically appeared on my doorstep.
Whoever could have sent that. Is there a poke fairy? A big surfer in the sky?
I don't know. There was just a brown paper bag on my front porch that said Eric D, and I opened it up, and there was some poke, and it was delicious.
Hey, all right, delicious. A first verdict there.
Yes. Seamless did hit me up because, okay, spoiler alert, I ordered the poke for my dear friend Eric.
Hey.
I gave you a little bit of a warning when I texted you and said, will you be home for the next 30 to 40 minutes?
Yeah. I didn't know what that meant. I thought you were trying to text someone else.
No, that was all for you, baby.
Yeah.
My angel, as I referred to you on Instagram. For anyone who missed the last couple episodes, or if this is your first one, to catch up to speed, I love poke. It's my favorite food. My favorite place is Poke in Austin. I ate some on the air last episode, right at the top of the ep. If you want to go back and hear me chomping on air, you get a couple good chews in. Actually, Sean, did you listen to episode 6?
Was it the most recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I accidentally ordered poke, and then
Oh, that's right. And then you had to go
arrived.
downstairs.
Yeah.
It happens, just accidentally ordering poke, and it just shows up at your doorstep. This is
So guess what, Eric? We got poke for dinner. We just finished it a little bit ago.
Of course, from that same place that you love.
Oh yeah,
Poke.
poke. So I got So I get the JT's special, which is like a special spicy poke that they've developed. It's ahi based, and what really sets poke apart is that they seem to marinate, I think, all of their ahi tuna overnight, and then you'll see, we posted a picture of it on Instagram just a day or two ago and gave them a nice shout out. It's half fish. All they do is put half fish, half rice, the true Hawaiian way. Sean now is vegetarian, doesn't eat fish. So he's been getting the tofu poke from there.
Yeah, let me jump in and talk about that for a quick sec.
Tell us
Well,
about it.
so the whole thing there is that, I always get poke with tofu because I don't eat fish. And actually what's going on at a lot of the different poke spots
Break
is
it
that
down.
yeah, so at a lot of the other poke spots, they do not actually marinate tofu the same way they do fish when you do it, but just this one spot, poke that Nick and I have been talking a lot about and really loving. They marinate the tofu the same way they would the fish, and it's just
Yeah, that's really the secret for everyone out there who is like comes up to us vegetarians like, oh, tofu's so bland, it's so gross. I don't know how. You got to marinate that.
yeah. You just don't know what spices and seasonings are.
Yeah. You bland ass people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
The poke you sent me today was very good.
Oh, yeah. It looked like it had some nice spicy mayo on it or something.
It did. It had a pretty good spice profile. Where did it come from? Where'd you send it from?
Ooh, I'll never tell.
I can go there.
Oh yeah, I guess that would actually be a nice thing to. I'm pulling up the name of the establishment. We can get them all in the mix. Here we go. It was.
Are you gonna put this in
from-
the show info again?
Yeah, I think it's Poketo. Poketo. Is that how you would say it?
Oh, in Merrick?
Poketo. Yeah, I think so. I'll send you the full
Poketo.
link. We'll put it in.
Okay.
We'll drop it in the show notes.
Put it in the show notes. We'll put our favorite poke restaurants in the show notes, and then we'll put the
Nice.
Kraken Quartet's links in the
Oh
show
yeah.
notes.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
When you eat poke, though, let's just talk about, like, it hits me. Like, today we were on the couch, and our roommate was talking to us, and I just got a nice bite of savory, chewy ahi that just hit me in the right time, and I just went, ah! I was freaking out. I was.
Yeah, I have to. Well, I have to alert everyone that Nick actually has convulsions when he eats his poke.
What about
When he eats his poke, he seems to lose control of his body and just starts yelling "poke" over and over again.
I believe it.
Oh man, what about? I mean, even if once the first couple times I got it, it made such an impression on me that then like the next week, because we were doing like a money saving sort of a challenge. We were like, okay, we're only gonna eat out once a week. Sundays is our day to eat out. Otherwise, we're gonna meal
yeah.
prep. We're gonna save some bills during all this. And so the whole week, I was just like thinking about that poke. And I would Sean would wake up at like 7 a.m. to go to work, and I'd like knock on his door. He'd be like, "What's up, bro?" He's still in bed. I'm like, "Dude, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? 4 more days.
4 more days till poke. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, the poke that I had was great. Thank you for sending that. What I noticed about this spot, the rice was actually really good.
Ooh,
Oh, that's so key.
That's like
It is.
Interesting for our poke today was that we got thrown a curveball where we ordered and then so first, Eric, did you have white rice or brown rice?
White.
Yeah, so we got thrown a curveball today. We order, then we get a call and they're just like, "Hey, yeah, so this is poke. We're out of white rice." And I know, right? So we ended up going with the brown rice. But it was okay, but the rice I think is crucial. I also think I've decided that white rice and an incredibly well-made white rice is very crucial.
it's the same for all you uncultured listeners who have yet to have the delicious taste of poke hit your tongues. It is the same thing as when you're eating a taco and you get a good tortilla or you get a bad tortilla. Everybody knows that a good tortilla will just kick up your taco like an extra 30%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
It's not the sexiest, most glamorous of the ingredients,
Nope.
but it matters a lot.
It's getting the job
Oh, yeah.
done.
Yep.
And you know what? Life isn't always about being sexy.
Being sexy and glamorous.
Glamorous. Sometimes it's about
Maybe your life isn't.
getting things done and appreciating those around you who are getting those things done, even if they aren't being sexy and glamorous. And yes, I am talking to you, Ed. You need to appreciate your wife, Barb the Spider, a little bit more. Ooh, how you like that segue?
Oh, there you go. That's A+ segue
Hey,
work.
run that theme. Let's start discussing the app.
Episode discussion.
Can I hold off the talking about the can we talk about music nerd stuff on this podcast?
Immediately after we say we're going to
This-
start
It's just so
discussing
important. It's so important.
Music nerd away, bro.
All right, cool.
All right.
Dude, so Eric, where'd you get that chiptune synth?
I use Super Audio Cart by Impact Soundworks.
Oh, dude, it sounds so good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's I think it's like $120. It's money well spent.
Okay, good. Good to know.
Can we
Good
throw
to know.
that in the show notes too?
Sure. And Impact, if you would like to throw us a sponsorship for using your virtual instrument
literally
on our podcast,
everything.
we'll accept that also.
I know, it's the sound of the show.
Eric, I just had to ask because I was going to ask off air otherwise, but it just sounds great.
Yeah, everyone's been coming back, bro. Eric, hey man, everyone's really digging the music. Everyone I talk to.
I appreciate that a lot. I am putting far more time and effort into these podcast theme songs than I thought I would be, but it's appreciated.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a total highlight. Yeah, but okay, let's do it now, Sean.
All right.
We'll music nerd out more later. I'm
Yeah, we
sure.
will, we
There's
will, we
no
will.
avoiding it. But let's talk about season 4, episode 3, Web Weirdos.
Episode discussion.
Oh, but actually, I did want to bring up one more music nerd thing.
Okay.
It was Sean was talking about that old 414 you're speaking into off air before. And is it true that is the microphone that you've recorded every instrument on for the past 8 years?
Longer than 8 years. Yeah, I use the AKG C414 XL2.
XL2 crushing.
We're going to go ahead and put
Yeah.
that in the show notes too.
Yeah, AKG, if you want to throw us a
Yeah.
sponsorship.
If you
we'll
want
be
to throw
willing to
all of
accept
us
that
a
also.
matched pair of 414s, I'm sure Eric would love another pair.
Yeah, I'll take a match pair of the XLS. I don't have that one.
Or just give Eric some old C12s. Just find him some C12s and send
Yeah,
those
those will be
along.
fine. I'll accept that.
They'll do just fine. Thank you, AKG. We really appreciate your support of the podcast.
Hey, I'm down to talk about the app now, though, too, if we're down to talk about the app.
Yeah,
All right,
season
let's
4,
talk
episode
about
3.
the app.
Yeah, let's do it.
Episode discussion.
This was fun. Watching academically, being that this was the first time I tried to academically watch an episode of Adventure Time, it was a whole new experience for me.
Yeah, how did it go? Like, did it just felt different? Did you notice things?
Well,
Can you maybe tell us your history with the show a little bit?
Yeah.
okay, so my history with the show was that I would say that early on when it was on air, and Nick has explained on air before his history with the show, I think he was just kind of like getting me hip to Adventure Time between like college visits home and stuff like that. Like, dude, you got to check out this show. It's totally awesome. You know, like whatever, like while he was home from college. And I would watch it a little bit then. And then, you know, maybe I watched like a dozen episodes at most or whatever. And then I got to college, and my college roommate, who, Chris, who's also a member of the Kraken Quartet, was very, very, very into Adventure Time. And I think just over time, I started just casually like, oh, I'm just going to like binge a whole season here. I'm going to binge a whole season there. But always for me on like the surface level of like, this is just great. Like, look at these guys running around, you know, and that was about it for me. But I heard Nick in all of the recent eps getting very, anywhere from very, very like light with the eps to very, very philosophical. And so I was like, oh man, how deep do I go with this?
Yeah, I didn't know Chris
Yeah.
was the one that like kind of we got to get Chris Dimitriou. I'm saying his last name, right?
Yeah.
We got to get him on the pod. Hey, can we throw Chris a little shout out in the show notes too?
Yeah, everyone's on the show notes this episode.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, we got to get him on this pod too.
Yeah, I got to do it.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, you can interact with this show on multiple different levels. Like we were watching it before, and our roommate Corey here, who we should get on the podcast. Hey, can we throw him in the show notes too?
Put them on the show notes.
Throw
yeah,
him
let's
in.
throw him in.
He was like, "This is a kid's cartoon," like, And we were like, yeah, man. Like we were explaining what was happening. We're like, well, you see, the wife spider is having some issues with her body, and she can't produce web in the way that she needs to. And I think that's causing some animosity within the relationship. He was like, what the hell kind of kids cartoon is that?
Yeah, totally.
It was funny. But
Yeah, this show works on a lot of levels simultaneously, which is why it's so enjoyable to watch, and also so enjoyable to deep dive in a podcast on.
Yeah, it's almost
Totally.
like it's almost essential to explaining the show. We were hanging out with a couple friends the other night, and they didn't know anything about Adventure Time. And when trying to explain Adventure Time, like Sean, I think the explanation you gave was like you can watch it like it's approachable and exciting like a kid's cartoon, but if you're digging deeper into the subtext, like it's clearly tackling some really adult, heavy, mature themes. Not even adult.
Totally.
I don't even want to say adult because I don't even like the delineation between children and adult. Like these are just human themes. I said that this show, they said, is it a show for kids or adults? And I said, it's a show for people.
Humans?
Yeah,
Humans. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. This episode in particular, the way they sort of set up some moral lessons and then follow through with it in some weird ways was very Adventure Timey.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
with the marital issues between these two spiders, like Ed is clearly being sexist in some really weird ways.
Right up
And-
top. Right up top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever really resolve it. They just sort of present the problem, and then the episode's over without really
Well,
being solved.
The rest
Sorry to jump right to the end of the episode, but isn't that an old trope? Like the married couple has really bad marital problems, so they have a kid to save the marriage or whatever.
Which is a terrible lesson.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It is a terrible lesson. What's really funny is that Finn is almost more mature than Ed or Barb. Like he sees what's happening and is like coaching Ed through it. This child human, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I don't know what perspective Finn has on this that's unique in any way, but
You're right.
but I guess his childlike innocence and wonder is able to sort of be free of any cultural implications or societal learning that he may have that we get in our world. So he's able to just be straight up about it. Like, hey, you can't hate on your wife for doing a thing with her body that you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I didn't even draw the like, between that and farting. Like it didn't occur to me that it would. I read the AV Club put up a review of it, and I checked it out because I wanted to see what they got out of the episode. It's the first time I've done that, and they were talking about how like, yeah, it's cool when guys do it. Guys can fart, but then she can't either. It didn't really occur to me, but then like watching it a second time, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think a slight deviation into trivia about this episode was the sound that the spider butt makes as it's like pooping out the web.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be a lot more indicative of a bowel movement, and it was too gross and deemed too inappropriate for kids, so they changed it.
Wow.
Something just a little bit more of a generic gross sound.
Yeah, that's funny. But there was some. Now, I have a question to posit to both of you guys, because watching it seemed like there might have been some deeper implications behind her not being able to do, produce the webbing as well as Ed, in that, they come up and he's like, I set the traps today, solo style, I caught for us. And she's like, hey, I'm trying hard, but like, even though I'm not producing as much web as you, like, I'm really trying hard. And that's when she feels underappreciated. And then later, when Ed is walking, he talks about how all of his friends left and have kids now, and all he has is Barb. And then when he comes back and they talk and what leads to the ultimate big fight is he says that her butt is dysfunctional. And I was wondering, like, is this supposed to be like a metaphor for like a woman not being able to bear a child?
Oof.
And like that is what's causing the marital problems? Like,
I don't know. For me, I kind of thought it was more of a just like a work like you like I'm the breadwinner here and you're not. Like it was more of a two paycheck household type situation.
Yeah.
You know,
And one person's really bringing home like most of the bread.
and then creating animosity with the other person when they're like not.
Yeah, that's more likely. And then, I mean, she does immediately have children after that fight, so I guess that kind of disproves what I was talking about.
Maybe a little bit.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's so bizarre. It seems like they set up a lot of pins to like make a big moral statement, and then they just decided not to knock any of them down.
Yeah. It's true. And then it was sort of weird, like when she starts to eat him, I was like, so he, like, it started to be like, is this an indictment on the female? Like she's eating the male. But then I did then Google, like, do women spiders eat men spiders? And the answer was a resounding yes. That is a thing that happens. So I was like, oh, this is just a true connection to nature. Actually, I did not know like where the term widow spider came from, but it's like while they're having sex, the larger female will eat the male, thus making her a widow. And I was like, oh, got it. Spiders are
Yeah,
creepy.
that's crazy.
Spiders are creepier than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Finn just jumping in and be like, yo, dude, you can't eat your husband like that. It's not cool. And just like, that's,
You do a good Finn.
yeah. Oh, well, thanks. He just, because he just jumps in, like you were saying, with like the child, like, just like, I'm just going to jump in and say like, whatever is not cool or not okay,
Yeah. I also love that in this episode, it's Jake's sort of just like resignedness to everything that's happening. I feel like that's kind of a through line that I'm discovering watching these.
Yeah, he kind of sidelines himself because he's lazy.
Yeah. Oh, Eric, you know what I also figured out when I was watching this? Like, that came to mind is that this is our 7th episode. We kept trying to like hopefully pick in the first couple episodes or land on like a really fun just Jake and Finn adventure episode, and I feel like this is kind of the first one that we've gotten, right?
Sort of. I don't know. It seems weird because Jake doesn't do anything cool.
He does do stunts in the beginning of the
2 seconds.
And then he
Maybe.
gets tired out, I guess. And
Stunts!
weirdly, Finn is so lame and bad at doing stunts.
Yeah, what's
It's
up with that?
That
Yo,
doesn't
his
seem
power
fitting.
leveling in this episode is all whacked out. Right? He can't do any of the stunts he normally does, and then all of a sudden he's like super OP at spitting.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's just,
that's
like,
true.
Yeah, he's spitting birds out of the air, like, but he can't jump off of rocks. Like,
Yeah, it seemed a little convenient for my taste, maybe.
I did immediately get kind of thrown off by the kind of the flimsy logic of like the birds, like spitting the birds out of the sky, and then they all just sit there dead until exactly the moment when the spider shows up, and then they all just get up and leave. It's like, oh, see you later.
That logic didn't check out, but I really enjoyed the cutaway to like when they showed all the birds on the ground being spit out of the air.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very funny, unique joke. I like that was a good visual one.
it was good. It's time to play Did You See the Snail?
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, we'll go with our guest first. Sean, did you see the snail?
I did see the snail.
Oh.
Like immediate, I
I'm on
saw the
pins
snail.
and needles.
I got really lucky. Do I say where I saw it?
Not yet. Ask Nick if he saw it.
Nick, did you see the snail?
Sean, I did see the snail.
Oh, hell yeah, you saw the snail.
We're heating up.
Ask me.
Okay, ask Eric. Okay.
Eric, did you see the snail?
Hell yes, I saw that motherfucking snail. Play that theme song, baby.
Looking in the scenery throughout the land of ooh. He lies in wait for me and you. We saw the snail. We saw the snail.
Oh yeah.
man. Oh,
Jeff Rosenstock would
Oh,
be
Papa.
proud.
oh, daddy. Jeff.
Oh man, this is probably one of the best days of my life. The Adventure Guys saw the snail for the first time.
God damn it. Yes. I'm so glad. That was a full-fledged song that you made for that. Imagine if we never saw it. That's
Man, okay. So I watched this episode the first time, and I wasn't even looking for the snail, and I saw it because it was it's in there pretty easily.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way that Nick does not see this. I guess I have to go write the best song of my entire life right now.
Wait, so you didn't write it until this episode? So
Oh
what if-
my
So if
God.
we saw it in past episodes, the song didn't exist yet?
No.
You really painted yourself into a corner on that one.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, I
Nice.
gotta come clean is that I think I would have seen it, but Sean pointed it out when we were watching it together.
I figured the two of you would be watching it together, and at least one of you would see it.
Yeah, you know the Leo meme where he's pointing at the TV,
Yeah.
where he's like, "That's the guy." Yeah, I did that at the snail to Nick.
And we were like, oh, we like definitely jumped out of our chairs. Ah, wow. I feel
That was
satisfied.
awesome.
It was so cool
Yeah.
to see him after. I mean, I guess I really haven't been trying too hard, but
He was waving too. What a chill little guy.
I know. He was caught in the spider web and still just vibing there.
Okay, here's a question: was he caught, or was he just some supernatural? Like maybe the snail doesn't get caught in spider webs.
I think he exists on some extra dimensional plane where, like, there's obviously no fourth wall because he sees us.
Yeah.
He's waving to
Yeah.
us.
he sees
Well,
all.
Let me say, he's definitely not caught in the web because there's a cut to Barb, and then there's a cut back to the web, and then he's gone. So he's
Yeah.
clearly scurried away somewhere.
He can appear at will whenever, wherever he wants.
Yeah.
The almighty snail. We see him.
Wow. That was tight.
Yeah.
Well, cool. That was the best game of Did You See the Snail ever played.
Yeah. If you saw it, which you probably did if you watched the app, don't forget to hit us on that email at didyousethemail@gmail.com. We've gotten a few pieces of viewer mail so far, which has been nice. Sean, you were one of the first.
I was.
So thank you for that.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Me boy. Do you want to, what did you say in there? You had some thoughts.
So I had a so are y'all gonna do like a Facebook group for like Adventure Time discussion or anything like that?
We probably should
We-
at some point.
Well,
We
I
mentioned
can't-
it.
Y'all mentioned it, so I immediately hit up. Did you see the mail? And I said that you should name the group Adventure Time Snail Posting.
Or Adventure Guys snail posting.
Adventure Guys Snail Posting.
Oh yeah, that's how it goes. Eric, our favorite thing about Facebook that's left, as it's kind of destroying our democracy, would be
/ careers.
/careers
Yeah.
Twin Peaks log posting,
Oh, dude.
where it's just an onslaught of Twin Peaks memes that people are churning out at an honestly alarming rate.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't imagine the form of like hyper neo Dadaism that would be a Twin Peaks meme page.
Dude, you get everything. You get
it's insane.
You get neo-Dadaism, but then you get also like hyper current, like fusing like memes that probably 12-year-olds are liking creating, and then they'll just like infuse Donna into them. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But yeah, there's a few of those. I don't even want to bring up Jimmy Neutron croissant posting because that is a goddamn disaster that no one should ever go to. Do not, if you're listening, hey, you who's listening right now, do not go to Jimmy Neutron croissant posting. It's going to sound like a great idea. It's got a crazy name, and you might go in there and be like, whoa, this is wild. But I
We do
promise
not
you,
condone it.
do not do it. It'll
Do not go there. We'll put the link in the show notes so you know exactly where not to go.
yes. And then we'll
Sounds like a
also
great
include Twin Peaks log
Log
posting so
posting.
you know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll steer you in the right direction. You're our friends. You're our fans. We love you. We love you.
We're
Like
gonna
and
have some
subscribe.
pretty rad show notes for this episode.
Oh yeah, we're gonna hit a record on this one. I also, here's some other things that we should include in the show notes. Is I don't know if everyone else out there noticed the voice for Ed is Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah,
Did you notice that?
I did.
Yeah, I noticed it too. On the second time through, I was like, just going to Sean, like, is that Bobcat Goldthwait?
Yeah. I was kind of like, man, maybe it is, but he really dialed it back from like when he did like Scrooge with Bill Murray and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
I think I want to include it in the show notes because I bet there's some people out there who don't remember Bobcat Goldthwait, and he was in Police Academy, and he had this incredible character, which is basically an exaggerated version of how he normally talks, where he's like, Sean, you have a pretty good impression.
Yeah, I just give me something to say, and I can do a good Bobcat.
Hey, what's up, Finn the Human?
Hey, Jake, what's going on, man? I'm trying to just hang out all the time.
That's pretty
like that.
good, yeah.
It's like Bobcat Goldthwait is guest starring on our podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bobcat.
There he is.
There he is. Yeah. So that was great. And did you now? Here's one thing you may not have noticed, Eric, is that the Barb. Sean, guess who voices Barb?
Who?
Susie Green, which is Jeff's wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh my God, that is the most perfect
I don't know her.
wife.
I never really watched Curb.
Oh my God, she is the most outlandish, crazy, like just like the epitome of just like a. All right, we're gonna take every single stereotype of like a couple where the wife is like really cranky all the time and the husband's kind of messing up all the time, and she's just gonna be really loud and upset, and that's it. It's a classic character.
You gotta watch that show, Eric.
Maybe
Go watch that show.
Maybe
Gotta
I
watch that
won't.
show.
Who knows?
Gotta watch the show. I mean, there's a couple other. I guess we'd be remiss not to mention the fingernails clip, where they're talking about, Jake made him cut his fingernails because they were too long. Another cool piece of trivia that I found was that apparently in the episode before this, they're writing out a to-do list, and Finn writes out "cut my fingernails" on the to-do list.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool continuation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a quote. This is gonna go far back in the episode. We were talking about how weird spiders are, and Jake, I think on multiple occasions in the ep, at least one in particular, it's like they got cut out of the web, and then like Jake is just so lazy in this episode. But even when Finn's like, I gotta go help him, like she's trying to eat him, he's like, no man. Spider marriages are weird. Don't get involved. And then he's like trying to keep him from doing anything. And then you hear Bobcat go, help. And then, and then he's like, all right, go help him.
How about that little soliloquy that Jake goes on at the end when he's getting engulfed by all the baby spiders? He's like, yeah, man.
Circle of life.
Life's like that, man. Yeah, it just comes till you can feel your blood getting colder and everything getting a little bit darker, and he looks so cozy. And then one of the best Sean and I loved was the Finn shriek.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Finn shrieks. One of my favorite things about Adventure Time, Finn shrieks.
Yeah, they're so good. It was insane. And it just cuts away on just like Barb and Ed like having a touching moment. Jake lazily does not care he's getting consumed by the spiders, and then Finn just like, ah!
So actually the ending of this episode is a particular style of Adventure Time ending where it's like nobody really knows how this was supposed to end, so let's just heighten the drama for like 5 or 6 seconds to an impossible point and then cut to the end credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because they're like being consumed by spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the main conflict of the episode between Ed and Barb has been resolved, so we're good to go.
Sure.
It's good for
Totally.
now. Yeah, it was cool. Some other like trivia that I was going to bring up was that I started looking a bit into the creation of this episode, and it was here. I got it right here. So it was written by two separate people, Akko God damn it, I'm saying her name wrong.
Ako Castuera.
There you go. Thank you, Sean. And her and Jesse Moynihan wrote it together. And apparently is that Akko did the first half of the episode, like she storyboarded it all. And it's a lot more of like physical comedy where Finn and Jake are, parkouring and going over the boulders as we talked about. And then Jesse Moynihan did the second half of the episode where it's like more relationship drama.
I love that concept of two people like sort of writing different parts and then mashing it together. It always reminds me of that Blink-182 song on their self-titled album.
Where are you?
No.
No,
And
faith
I'm so
will
sorry.
short this time. Smile face in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be dust.
I remember seeing an interview and they were very clear about like, Tom just wrote this part and Mark just wrote this other part and we just threw them together and we made a song. And we're kind of lucky that they worked up.
Well,
Yeah, it's cool.
hey, where are you? So did you know that on that song is that they had the bones for it, and then Mark went over to one room and Tom went over to another room, and they wrote their verses independently. But I think they both knew that it was going to be about Nightmare Before Christmas or something. But then they just came back and like that's what it was. So that's kind of a similar thing to hear.
I guess, well, yeah.
Do you think?
It's-
Wait, I have a question. Do you think that Mark came out of the room and was like, "All right, I got this shit." Like, hello there. Like he was like, and he did his whole thing, and we can live like Jack and Sally if we want to. And he was like, "This is great." And Travis was like, "Yeah, man, good job." And then Tom was like, "Yeah, pretty good."
But let me spice things up here a little bit.
And then, where are you? And I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep. I cannot dream tonight.
I want to bring a fun fact about that song into my own personal life. Is that the Kraken Quartet has played one cover since 2014, and it was that song.
Oh my God!
course.
You're an instrumental band.
We are, and Taylor Edinger, who's my drum partner / he does samples and synths and stuff. He found on YouTube just like the vocal stem isolated, and then he sampled Tom going, "Where are you?" and then like everything else, and then like and then actually this is a fun tie into the episode. All the webs from all the spiders
catching things and eating their insides.
So okay, hold on. So he
decision to call you. That's my favorite part. It doesn't even.
Yeah. No, so Taylor literally was like, "Oh, I'm going to like cut up every word and just reorder all of the words." So then he was like, he made "Where are all the spiders? Catching all the spiders." So like we're just like instrumental playing this song, and Taylor is just changing the words, but just having like "Where are you?" just like in the background with distortion and just like weirdness, and then "Where are all the spiders?" just like over and over and over again.
Is there a video of this? I really want to hear it now.
I don't know. That was for like a show we played with the band Hikes a while back. I have to go back and see if anyone had it.
I would love to throw that in the show notes.
Yes, please. We need a link for that.
Oh yeah, if I can get it.
Oh God, it's the best song. Speaking of which, that reminds me is that my friend who, this ties back into so today I posted on my Instagram for the first time that this show exists. And the first comment was from my buddy, Eric Slick, who tagged Jesse Moynihan, who co-wrote this episode. Did you see that, Eric?
I didn't see it on Instagram.
Yeah, he commented and tagged Jesse Moynihan.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh yeah. And then like I was watching the show. I was like, wait, that's the dude who wrote this goddamn episode. So I liked it. I said I'm a big fan. Maybe I'll like DM him or something. I don't know. Makes me nervous. But Eric also did a great shout out, Eric. So thanks for alerting a real Adventure Time person of this show's existence. Eric has a great new solo album out called Wise Acre. And you know what? You can find a link to that in the show notes.
In the show notes.
Eric,
love it.
Yeah. And he also did a good parody version. Like, you remember the Imagine videos that Gal Gadot did, or Godot. God, I can't pronounce anyone's name. But
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so he parodied it with all these like indie rockers singing "I Miss You" by Blink-182, and that's funny. And that is also in the show notes.
You're writing these show notes, Nick.
Oh no, I'm not. I think that's the guest's responsibility.
No, thank you.
Okay, well,
No, I think if I was in charge of the show notes, I would just type the word spiders over and over and over again. That would be it.
well, hey, if I'm gonna write, I'll include that also
All right, yeah.
in the
Could you
show
put
notes.
the word spiders 50 times at the bottom of the show notes?
single space or double space?
I need the wide boy font where you go.
Do you know about the wide boy font, Eric?
Please enlighten me.
S space P space I space D space. Go look at it's
space. No, finish it.
okay. Sorry. Oh, my apologies. E space R space S.
Spiders. Wide boy font.
Wide boy font. But if you were to just do the word spiders over and over and over again, when you do the wide boy font, you typically don't put an extra space between the words, so everything just bleeds together. It's just every letter has a space between it. And everything has to be capital.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It's wide.
It's the wide font.
It's the wide font. So no, what was interesting though, so I was researching more of the episode and I saw, someone on Wikipedia linked to an old forum thread, which was on landavoo.com, which was an old Adventure Time site that's off, but they used the Wayback Machine to catalog back into a forum where a lot of the fans were asking Jesse Moynihan questions. And one person was like, hey, what's up with this episode? It seems that a lot of us think it's the weakest episode of Adventure Time thus far, which I was surprised to hear such harsh words. A couple people came out and defended it. We're like, nah, man, this is kind of a good episode. But Jesse responded and want me to read his response because I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So he wrote back, honestly, I wasn't happy with how that episode came out. I think Akko's parts are funny, but everything I wrote in the episode played out in a way that I didn't expect. It's the one episode I've worked on that I really feel didn't do anything I intended. That said, I'm glad I tried it. I knew that the writing approach I was taking was risky and could fall flat, but I believe the greatest strength of the show is that the writers are willing to experiment and take risks. Not everything works. In the case of Web Weirdos, at the end of the production line, the end product was not satisfactory to me, despite the what is that word?
Despite the talents?
Despite the talents of everybody. My eyesight is very bad. I think I might need glasses.
Dude, you need glasses. This is very easy to read.
Despite the talents of everyone involved, I wish I could go back and rework that episode, but that's not how TV works. You got to keep moving.
Well, I immediately am thinking about something that Eric said where, I wonder, when, say, they're experimenting and taking risks, that's like the type of spirit that takes them to these points where, like, the end of this episode, where it's like, how are we going to end this? I have no idea. Let's just, what if they just get covered in spiders?
Yeah.
All right, that's the end of it.
Well, big risk, big reward, and like that. That's what we're talking about. We keep bringing up is that there's so many different types of Adventure Time episodes. And I think that's what keeps the show so fresh and engaging is that you really don't know what you're going to get when you turn on the show. Like, it's a pretty open field.
Yeah, they swing for the fences a lot, which I appreciate.
Totally.
Yeah, I think the three of us too. We all like some music where it's like people swinging for the fences, and I like ambitious art. I like people to like really go for it rather than just play something simple. I like small and simple and intimate things, but I also love when people just go for it.
Yeah. You need some
Yep.
wackadoo shit in your music,
Yeah. And in your shows. Sean and I talk about that all the time. We're going to watch some in wide boy font cinema.
We're going to watch a film, a classic film,
Yeah.
a picture.
We're going to watch a real good flick.
Probably from the Criterion Collection. You know what? Shout out the Criterion Collection, if I may, as the guest.
You may.
You can find info on the Criterion Collection in the show notes.
Is that below the 50 spiders?
It's under Poke Poke.
Oh, okay. Well, that's top.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to watch some wackadoo shit on the Criterion Collection. We haven't
Okay.
decided exactly what.
Yep.
Yep. Wait.
Well, cool. Do you guys want to run the episode generator so we know what we're going to watch for next week?
Yes.
Sounds good.
What are we gonna watch next week? What are we gonna watch? It's the episode generator.
Hey, Eric, can I talk to you about that song for a second?
Please do.
The ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. I totally heard like a bomb style like glockenspiel over the top of that when I heard it in my brain. And then during the We All Saw the Snail song, you read my mind and there was glockenspiel in the We Saw the Snail song.
Okay, yeah. So funny story about the glockenspiel. Nick told me a few weeks ago how y'all sampled the glockenspiel.
We did. We sampled a glockenspiel.
And I mentioned that I had a glockenspiel that I never played.
Ooh.
So I wanted to make a point to use glockenspiel on
Yes.
Yes.
It was great. Great use. And the good part of the song, too.
Yeah, keen ear, Sean.
Love
Very
it.
good.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's what I do.
Glockenspiel is pretty essential to the Kraken Quartet.
Yes, it is. It is.
You know, it's difficult to record.
Yeah.
It's got such a
hard.
pingy attack, and the tone is such a lower volume than the like metal hitting sound.
Yeah,
So
for
you really
sure.
have to use compression in a unique way to get it to
Yeah,
sound
you
right.
totally need to you need to totally use like a hard like a 20-to-1 that's just like clipping all of the attacks for sure.
Yeah.
And what's funny also is like sometimes when you get a really nice glockenspiel, the bars actually they literally ring too long, and it just sounds like a
Yes.
wash. So like you usually have to we use like paper towels. We like smush paper towels between the naturals and the accidentals to just like deaden the bars.
Yeah, for some like actual, classical rep, you want like a good ringy glockenspiel. But for almost everything else, like in popular music, you do not want that long ring. Thankfully, my glockenspiel is terrible. It costs like $150 or something.
Yeah, it's like one of those like beginner bell kit things is how they're normally advertised. Usually, those are usually like some of the best ones when you're under a mic. I will say that 414 you got there is a killer glockenspiel mic.
It's also in my experience a killer vocal mic, a killer trombone mic, a killer saxophone mic, a killer trumpet mic.
It's also a killer marimba mic.
Yeah, killer room mic for drums. What else do I use on everything?
Have you ever used your 414s on rack toms on your toms?
No.
Dude, get that's the truth right there. Like put the pad on. Well, I mean if you have like a different set of overheads. Put the pad on and that's your rack and your floor and it's an incredible top mic.
So this is the mic. Hey, if you're out there trying to record some music, get a
I cannot reiterate enough that the three of us would gladly take a matched pair of 414s.
Please, AKG. We appreciate your support. All right.
Yeah,
So
honestly, in terms of investments, spending $1,000 on a microphone like 11 years ago was probably the smartest buy that I've ever made as a musician.
That's tight.
Well done, young Eric. Hey, what?
Every other decision was terrible, but buying an AKG mic, that's where my preparedness really shone through.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
hit us with the app. What did we get?
all right, episode 216, which is season 7, episode 17, Angel Face.
Season 7, episode 17.
Yes,
That's what
Angel
you said.
Face.
Okay, cool.
Which is
I'm
as
Googling it.
late into the show as we have gotten, I believe. I don't think we've done an episode from season 7 yet.
No, we haven't.
I don't remember what this one's about.
Well, I'm looking. Oh, we get a little BMO action in this one, which we haven't really gotten much of. BMO creates a live action roleplay bounty mission and sets out with Jake as his steed to capture the infamous Jack Rabbit Johnson.
Oh, Oh, this is a fun episode. I remember this one.
Ooh, cool. I'm
Cool.
excited.
It's got a Western vibe to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did we friend Dave commented and was like was talking about the new stuff that's on HBO Max, and there's the BMO episode. Do you think we should do that, or should we? Is that jumping too far ahead?
Let's think of a more prepared way to do that, because it probably deserves slightly more reverence than just a regular weekly episode. It's long. Also, it's like a 40-minute special. So
It's
Wow.
yeah, it's a true special.
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. And that could be like we've talked about how we might do a couple of like, do chunks of episodes at one time or something. Like maybe we do like a special where we do some of the new ones or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, that was a good ep. Thanks for coming on, Sean.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Good app.
Great app.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.